Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Shapiro.
Here.
Trustee McGreal.
Here.
Trustee Dizelle.
Here.
Trustee Ryan.
Here.
Trustee Michaels.
Here.
Trustee Dwyer.
Here.
Mayor Kitching.
Here.
We have a quorum.
If you would, then, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
All right, under the mayor's report tonight, I have a veto message of the HR handbook. To the honorable members of the Village of Alsip Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in me as president of the Village of Alsip, I return without my approval the HR handbook approved at the village board meeting on March 20th, 2017. I've advocated for an employee handbook for years. I initiated the position of HR for this very reason, to generate and assist our village in the adoption of an employee handbook. The employee handbook must serve as a guide to support our personnel ordinances and assist staff and department heads in navigating employment at the Village of Alsip.
Where did I put it? It was in my phone.
I'm vetoing the HR handbook or employee handbook for several reasons. I do not believe true diligence has been taken to ensure proper staff cooperation and collaboration were at the forefront nor ongoing during the creation of the handbook. I do not feel our tenured and very wise department heads were involved at all or enough in the creation of this handbook, nor were they incorporated in the plans to administer it last month. How can the village adopt an employee handbook without the support of the heads of staff? I, Mayor of the Village of Alsip, and Chief of Staff have been precluded from making and plans for administering the handbook. I've asked questions of HR and Finance and have not been given the courtesy of an answer, nor have I been given a digital draft of the document passed on 3/2017. This deliberate alienation does not set me nor the next mayor up for a successful adoption of this handbook. I feel there is a severe lack of transparency with the handbook. Specifically, the HR handbook or employee handbook was not made part of the board packet on 3/2017 meeting. I feel this is an ethical misstep that does not promote cohesiveness within the relationship of our staff and our elected officials, nor does it promote the adequate level of transparency necessary for government. In the Village of Alsip, we have a strong mayor form of government, where the mayor proceeds as chief of staff. I am retiring. I do not feel the HR manual or employee handbook supports this form of government. The current elected board has recently made dozens of changes to the personnel code that do not support our form of government. Strong mayor. In November, the whole section of code on discipline was removed. We have an extreme variation in how we've handled discipline prior and since. I find it hard to believe that department heads nor myself were involved in the process to design the discipline section. I feel with the adoption of so many changes, the personnel code in general needs to be further reviewed before the handbook is adopted. I recommend the handbook is held back until the new administration takes office. The goal would be to not begin a handbook that potentially change it should the new administration see fit, as I do. This alone is not fair nor ethically sound for over 100 staff members we employ. Let's slow down, be transparent, be inclusive, and produce a strong and best employee handbook possible. The mayor's position is not represented well in regards to authority in this handbook, and therefore the next mayor will need to investigate this matter with his legal team to ensure it is proper and true to our form of government. Some procedures and processes in this handbook are against the grain of how HR and other staff are currently conducting certain situations. I find it peculiar and concerning that there is not a current effort to change an attempt to mirror the content in the handbook prior to its adoption. Our HR manager has been working with certain trustees and overall more collaborative with them than collaborative with the mayor. This is concerning, as a position of trustee should not interfere with the day-to-day operations of the staff. Specifically, our HR manager had given draft copies to the table of contents and not to myself, the mayor, chief of staff. I find this concerning and unethical, as should any mayor who operates under our form of government. Certain aspects of this handbook may very well be unconstitutional in our form of strong mayoral government. That's my veto message.
Mayor, with regards to that, under 65 ILCS 5/3.1-40-40, the mayor's power to veto relates to motions or resolutions that create any liability against a municipality and that provide for the expenditure appropriation of its money and all ordinances. This, sir, doesn't. This document was reviewed at length by the village attorney and returned back with their recommendations on it. You were here at times that those documents were provided. Whether you chose to look at them or not is immaterial. You, sir, don't have the authority to put a veto onto this.
We'll see about that. Clerk's report.
I have the presentation of the minutes of the March 20th, 2017 board meeting, presentation of the IDOT motor fuel tax allotment for February 2017 in the amount of $41,447.58. I also have a request for approval of a resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernment agreement with Cook County Bureau of Asset Management, Department of Real Estate Management, and the Village of Alsip to maintain air monitors on the premises, and a request for approval to temporarily transition a current deputy collector part-time position to a full-time position due to an unexpected staff absence. This approval will be reviewed and discussed further, but this approval will only cover the initial 30-day contractual agreement. And that's all I have.
Attorney's report.
No report.
Engineer's report. No engineer.
No.
Public forum. Is there anyone in the audience this evening who would wish to address this board on any matter? Please come forward, state your name for the record.
My name is Liz Pickar. I just wanted to thank John Shapiro for his years of dedication and service. He's always put the welfare of our village first, and so I just wanted it on record that I thank you very much for all you've done for the village.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else this evening? Yes, sir. Please state your name for the record.
Michael Sanders, Village of Alsip Public Works employee and Chief Steward of AFSCME Council 31, Local 3053. In regards to Clerk Van Huysen's request for approval to temporarily transition a current deputy collector part-time to full-time, we would ask if you could please remove that from tonight's agenda so we could sit down and have a face-to-face meeting. We would like to review and discuss this matter further before it goes into effect. Considering the union employees in the offices, we need to talk about it before we can go ahead and do that. There's some things that we need to discuss first.
Okay, and I had contacted Sean. We did some texting, but yes, I will do that. There will be no vote on it.
Rather than be a text message or a phone call, we'd like to sit down and have a meeting at the earliest convenience.
Excellent. And I also want to discuss these matters with the trustees, too,
Correct.
because, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else this evening? Moving along, standing committees, Finance Trustee Shapiro.
Mayor, I have a request for the approval of a list of payroll dated March 31st, 2017, totaling $377,101.82, and a request for the approval of accounts payable dated April 3rd, 2017, totaling $1,344,707.97. I also have a request for the approval for Finance Director Kent Olivan to attend Radford University on April 25th, 2017 for training, exam, on debt management in Itasca, Illinois, for a cost of $295 and travel expenses. Mayor, I also would like to turn it over to Mr. Olivan, too. He wants to talk a little bit about the bonds. Mr. Olivan?
Thank you, Trustee Shapiro. The village, as everyone knows, has been doing some bond refunding. It's refunding and advance refunding. We have two bonds out there, and the interest rates right now are lower than they were when they were first issued. So one of them is going to be called, and the other one, money is going to be put towards it, the escrow account until the day it can be called. And we did some preliminary pricing today for that. The bonds will be sold tomorrow, and so they kind of floated what the prices are going to be. They fluctuate quite a bit, and so we're not sure what the demand for it is. They'll sell the individual years starting in middle of 2018. And right now, it's looking like somewhere around in present value savings of about $375,000, give or take. But we'll know more after tomorrow.
Very good.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Fire, Trustee Michaels.
I have a list of bills and timesheets, and under number 1, I would like to table that. It would be item G, and that's per the request of the fire chief, who was unable to attend tonight's meeting. Also, I'd like to table number 3 on the agenda. Thank you for business providing donation to assist the purchase of an unmanned aerial vehicle. He also wishes to have that tabled for our next meeting, which is on Monday, April 17th. I also have the presentation of minutes from the February 13th, 2017 Fire Department Committee meeting. That's all I have.
I'm sorry, Trustee Michaels, you had tabled G and the other item?
The thank you for the businesses, and I don't believe it's on the consent agenda.
Okay, no, it is not. Okay.
That's
Is
all I
there
have,
a
Mayor.
date you're tabling that to?
We're tabling the request for approval of the ordinance and tabling the thank you for businesses
The next meeting, or?
Till
till the next meeting, Monday, April 17th. Yeah. That was him requesting that meeting. That's all I have.
Police, Trustee Shapiro.
Mayor, other than the normal list of bills and timesheets, I have the presentation of the March monthly activity report. Also, the request for approval to allow the Alsip Little League to expand the parade route on April 22nd, 2017. Our parade on opening day ceremonies will be held Saturday, April 22nd at approximately 10 a.m. In previous years, our route was leaving Prairie Junior High School at 119th Street, then east on 119th Street, then south on Keeler, finally west on 119th Place to Goretto Field. Our request is to extend the route to 118th Street, heading east to Colon, and then heading north until reaching 117th Street, arriving at Karloff Avenue, at which point we will head south to 119th Street, arriving at Goretto Field for our opening day ceremony and games. The purpose of our extension is to showcase the family atmosphere and camaraderie that the Alsip Little League brings to families of the village of Alsip. This was presented by Eric Buccio, the director of parade. The Alsip police have checked this out and said it's okay to go. Right, Chief? I don't know if Tommy has, but I know Chief Miller has okayed it. So the next thing I have is a request for the approval to hire 4 patrolmen in addition to the 2 the board has previously approved. And I will let the chief explain that to you.
I just wanted to explain to you that we had some, as I kind of expressed to you in the budget program, we had lost a couple in the academy because of not being able to, some of our recent promotion, or some of our recent swear-ins, we've lost in the academy because they weren't able to pass certain aspects. With that being said, we had 2 people on the list, and we had no list. We exhausted that list, and we had to wait for oral interviews of the new list to go into play. So what the main plan is, we are definitely down 6, soon to be 7. With that being said, our plan is this: 3 police officers, hopefully we could get off of this list. I say hopefully, no guarantees. If I could get those 3 police officers in the pipe and into the FTO program, this village is currently down 6 officers in 2 deployments. We are down 8 officers. We are hoping, besides people failing the academy, we've also had people leave our department for greener pastures, which is going to happen a lot to this village because of the low starting salary. We are probably the 2nd lowest in the south suburbs. So anticipate of these 6, we may lose 2 of these to go to another department. So with that being said, my plan is this: 3 police officers go straight into the FTO program. We get relief from them in 3 months. While these 3 are in the FTO program, I could have 3 in a state academy going through the academy. When these 3 leave the FTO program and become officers, these 3 will be coming out of the academy, entering into the FTO program, which would probably give us some relief 3 months, and then full relief in 6 months if nobody leaves our agency. If somebody leaves our agency, 2, 3 for higher pay, I know a neighboring community is paying probably $20,000 more for laterals right off the bat. It's a very competitive market these days, and it could be difficult. That's the best plan I could offer you, and it's the quickest relief possible. Because if I put 6 into an FTO program, I will be able to accommodate them with FTOs, and we may not have 6 sworn police officers that I could pay. So it's the best plan that I have. It's 3 and 3.
And the chief and I have discussed this, and we did think about holding off until the new administration started, but it's a moot point. It's something
if you're
that
that
needs to be
short,
taken
you got
care
to
of.
move on it.
Well,
Yeah.
let me explain one other aspect and element I did not explain. I'm trying to make a May 1st academy.
Right.
If I can get 3 guys into that May 1st academy, then this plan that I proposed to you could work. I have 3 guys in an academy while I have 3 guys in an FTO program.
So none of the potential candidates are certified police officers?
There are some.
Okay.
But again, if they pass the background investigation, but that's what the key is, trying to get 3 into as police officers, 3 as academy.
Okay. Next on my agenda was the request for the approval of an ordinance authorizing disposal of, that is put on there in error. So I'm actually going to take that off of there because we're actually adding 3. And everyone should have got a copy of that, the 3 Ford Explorers that were added. So in that case, on the consent agenda, letter I is not necessary because you do not need an ordinance for this, correct, Madam Attorney? We're adding.
We're adding,
We're not deleting.
That was a typo in
Right.
preparation.
So you don't need an ordinance
No.
for that?
One more thing I do have. The Alsip Police Department is pleased to announce that they have teamed up with the Cook County Sheriff's Office in the Drug Take-Back Program. The Cook County Sheriff's Office has issued our department a secure collection container that is located in the lobby of the police department at no cost. This container will be strictly for collection of prescription drugs for destruction through the CCSO Prescription Drug Take-Back Program. The Alsip Police Department and the Cook County Sheriff's ask that no liquids and no needles be placed in this container. Very good, Chief. Excellent.
This is a big, very large metal box, almost looks like a mailbox. No cost to the village. The county is going to maintain it. And for those of you that don't understand the ramifications of this, they're asking that the public bring in any one of their pharmaceuticals they're not taking anymore, because what they're finding is youths with addictive personalities can find their way into the medicine cabinet, and then it leads to bigger problems. So what we're trying to do is get those out of the houses and into the locked container for destruction.
Very good.
I'd like to add to that the Metropolitan Sanitary District highly recommends this program. A lot of people flush their drugs down the toilet. They're finding it's turning up in the fish and in the water, and it's getting to be a huge problem. So it's a great program. Congratulations.
It's a really nice container. It's very secure. No one's going to get into it, and no one's going to take it out.
Okay.
It's a big, it's almost the size of a mailbox.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Trustee, I want to interject something here. Just a point of information, are we replacing our K-9 unit?
We are looking into it as we speak. The first K-9 unit that we brought in was under a grant, which was probably about $10,000 to $12,000. So what we are trying to do is replace it with a grant because funds are obviously short in every avenue. So if we can get this grant secured first and foremost, that's the first avenue we would like to go down to get this K-9 back up and running.
Yeah, it was a wonderful program, and they're worth their weight in gold.
Oh yeah, Eddie was
Yeah.
was a premier. I mean, you did a great job, as you all saw in the
Mhm.
last couple of weeks.
And he did pay for himself several times over, even though we got him for a grant. I mean, he earned his keep. Big time.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Trustee.
Thank you.
Public Works, Trustee Dwyer.
Presentation of minutes of the March 20, 2017 NPDES public hearing. I also have a request from Public Works for the approval from the board to hire one full-time Class 2 operator and one part-time maintenance employee for the Public Works Department. The two positions became vacant due to individuals unable to meet expectations under their probationary employment period and were terminated. Both positions will be posted in accordance with the ASME contract, the union contract, Article 10 of 15, filling of vacancies, Section 1, for 5 working days. If no bids are submitted from the union after 5 days, they will advertise both openings to the public for applications to be submitted. This request is for replacement of employees, not new hire, and is appropriated within the 2016-2017 budget. And that's all I have under Public Works.
Building, Trustee Michaels.
I have a list of bills and timesheets. I have a request for approval to place a banner and 2 flags advertising their gaming machines at La Fiesta Restaurant at 12640 South Pulaski Road for a period of 60 days. Next, I have a request for approval to have a sidewalk plant display in front of the Jewel Osco at 12001 South Pulaski from April 1st, 2017 to July 1st, 2017. I was informed by the building commissioner that this will be in front of the store, will not be out into the parking lot and out into the front of the business, so it'll be in front of the store. Because I know we had a problem with that in the past with the tent, so that's gone. Next, I have an approval for an ordinance waiving the suspending 50% of the applicable building permit fees, except for inspection fees for a roof replacement at Apollo Recreation Center at 12521 South Costner, Alsip, Illinois. I tabled this from our last meeting that we had. What they're looking for is a full 100% waiver of the fee, the building fee. Not the inspection fees, but the 100% waiver of that. Traditionally, when we've done, I've had them do some research. In the past, we have done 50%, okay, and that's according to the ordinance. So, trustees, I don't know if you want to grant that 100% and have an ordinance drawn up for that, or if you want to leave it at the 50%.
And the total fee amount was?
Okay, the amount that was also asked last time. The roof cost is $338,800. The building permit fee would be $3,080. Okay, now at a 50% reduction, which was on the agenda for tonight, it would be $1,690.
Madam Attorney, we've already got an ordinance that says, that the trustee just said, we already approved 50%, right?
Right. But he's essentially proposing an ordinance to make it 100.
Which is what the participant is requesting. So I'm just putting it out there for the trustees to give your thoughts on it.
We've had this discussion in the past. Regardless of where it comes from, it's still coming from the taxpayer regardless, whichever way you want to point it. But are we, I guess I'll go back to you, Madam Attorney, are we opening ourselves up then to any other, obviously to the other taxing bodies and whatnot on the same ordinance?
Well, I would recommend that if you're going to adopt an ordinance, it should apply to all governmental entities if you're going to do it.
Right.
It's not going to affect any commercial or anything like that if you limit it to governmental bodies. But I would recommend that. And I will say that communities do different things. Some do partial waivers, some do full waivers of the fee, but not the inspection fees. Some don't do any waivers. It's really up to you.
Sure.
I think in
Excuse
addition
me?
to,
I say sure.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I think in addition to the ordinance that it's also in the intergovernmental agreement that was drafted with regards to the Pulaski Corridor TIF district, and if I recall, that's at 50%.
So, obviously, it would be our decision, but from a legal aspect, what would you recommend on this?
What have we done recently? I mean, with the school districts that have done additional?
Same thing, 50%.
50%.
Yeah, the last one that was on
Across
the
board,
books.
we did it,
Yeah.
we wanted to be fair to everyone,
Yeah.
so it was 50% for
Right.
everyone.
Right.
And the last one was 2010, and that was to Sartoma. We gave them 50%.
I also checked with the clerk's office, and we don't have an ordinance that says 50%. We have an ordinance that doesn't even suggest that. That's just something that's being offered by the board. There's no ordinance that says 50% for the Park District or anyone else.
Oh,
That's what the
I thought
clerk's
last
office
time
told
we-
me.
Was in ordinance form.
Yeah, I thought the last time we went
They
through
would
this,
do
we
it in
did.
ordinance form
the
for
intergovernmental
each
agreement.
special occasion, but there's not an ordinance
I
that
got it, but
states.
there was an intergovernmental agreement with the creation of the Pulaski TIF, and I believe that said 50%, and that was done in ordinance form.
I don't believe that we should be messing with the few revenue streams that we still have that work.
You know what, though, I mean, to the point of you're reaching in a pocket, and the pocket is still our population. So whether the population, if we tax the Park District for this, the Park District has to charge additional fees to remedy this fee, and it's our public that pays it regardless. So, I mean, either way, we're,
I would recommend that if you are going to change it, that in order to avoid this confusion about having something in an intergovernmental agreement, I would recommend that it be in the fee schedule so that it's in the code.
and if we presently have it, as you suggested, Mayor, that it's 50%, that's what we've been doing thus far. It'd be my recommendation that we stay at the 50% for this time, but we should certainly bring it up in a month's time to sit there and to discuss it and to remedy it and make it right going forward.
Okay, next I have a presentation of the March monthly activity report.
Excuse me, trustee, were you going to pull that off and vote on it now then? Because it's on the consent agenda as approving it 100%.
It shows 50.
No, 50%, Mayor.
50%.
Okay, never mind.
The ordinance is 50.
No, it shows.
Yeah, that's how it's on the consent agenda.
All right,
50%.
that's good.
All right, next I have the monthly report, which runs from 3/1/17 to 3/31/2017. Number of permits issued were 58. Amount collected was $8,245.50, and the estimated cost of construction is $605,157. That's all I have under building.
Sewer and water, trustee Giselle.
The presentation of list of bills, the employee time records, and the March 2017 monthly activity report. That's all I have, Mayor.
License, trustee Ryan.
We're starting to see an influx in license renewals because it's getting toward the end of the fiscal year. And so we do have a request for approval of a list of licenses dated today. I'm sorry, this is dated April 3rd, 2017. That's all I have.
Economic development, trustee Ryan.
The Economic Development Committee would like to get a report, please, from Chris Mannheim on our Pulaski Avenue TIF.
Thank you, Trustee Ryan. You can refer to, if you want to follow along with me, I believe this will be on page 108 and 109 of your packets, our standard monthly report. Just a couple of updates. On property acquisitions, we've completed and closed the car wash property, and right now we're waiting on the environmentals. Some of the other Pulaski TIFs, Alsip lawnmower, has provided the parking lot bids to the building department, and those were approved by are recommended for approval by the building department, and we'd like to get that one to committee as soon as possible. We're working with several other, of course, applicants that we've been talking to you about. Checkers Restaurant, the owners have accepted a contingent offer, and they plan to apply for village TIF assistance. And I have a couple other more notes to add to here. Excuse me, Kent. And we're also working with and asking some of our colleagues who are architects to get information from them as regarding fees and the like, to help us put together, develop guidelines and assist applicants. And of course, that would be paid by the applicants who need architectural assistance to develop facades. And that's the most recent updates we have right now. So we have several projects that we'd like to move ahead to an EDC committee, hopefully this month yet, and then move those onto the board.
Do you want to set that for maybe before our regular meeting next week?
Yes.
Okay.
We're looking at April 17th.
Yes.
And then go to the 24th. So yes, I will contact, Roger Hopkins and I will contact the applicants and get that in line for you.
So which date did you want to look at then?
17th.
Okay. I'll certainly post it with the clerk's office then too.
Thank you, Chris.
That's all we had, sir.
Special committee reports, village properties, trustee Michaels.
I have a list of bills, and I have an update on Jack Geiger and Jack Mariska of the SIEU Building Maintenance Repair Certification. I have a letter from Roger Early, who's the village properties manager. I would like to update the mayor and the board on the progress of Jack Geiger and Jack Mariska are making it with the SEIU Building Maintenance Repair Certification. At this time, they are a little over halfway done and are scheduled to complete their program this November. They have completed health and safety, hand, power tools, mathematics, plumbing, low-pressure boilers, water treatment, and blueprint reading. It is great to see them applying what they have learned to some of our daily tasks. I am confident that they will successfully complete the remaining certification on time. If there's any questions or concerns, please contact Roger. That's all I have on the village properties.
Insurance, trustee McGreal.
Kent has a report to give.
Turn it back on. Our liability insurance company is getting out of the municipal market. They're going to stay in school districts, but that doesn't help us. So we are going to need to change our liability company. Our broker has been working on that, and I'm going to be meeting with them. But this is a May 1st date, so we are going to need an insurance committee meeting before May 1st. And I don't know how we're going to get board approval for that, but I guess we have in the past voted on that afterwards based on sort of a consensus coming out of the insurance committee. So we are going to need to schedule one of those because, again, our insurance liability company is no longer going to be offering those services.
Thank you. That's all that I have.
Ordinance and legislation, trustee Dizelle.
No report, Mayor.
IT, trustee Ryan.
Under the IT itself did not have a report this evening. Under the same purview, they actually put the presentation of the minutes of the March 13, 2017 Traffic Safety Committee meeting as well. So that's all I have.
You know what, on item E, which those minutes are, can we get the spelling for item number 1? It says Superintendent Craig Walton. That should be Craig Gwaltney. Just to have that reflect properly.
On the minutes itself.
On the minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Boat launch, trustee Ryan.
The boat launch, I got a report this evening from Public Works. I wanted to inform you that the Alsip boat launch is open for the 2017 season. Public Works repaired and or replaced wood on the front of all the docks and reinstalled rubber bumpers along the outside of the docks. In addition, they also had to remove 5 trees around the building that had either died or were at risk of breaking or falling. A large spillway on the east end of the docks up near the parking lot was blocked by dirt and debris and brush. This was cleared open to help with the drainage and the parking lot to prevent any further erosion around the walls of the docks. Also, Mike Frater mentioned he'd like to thank the Water Commissioner Dan Triven and his department for their assistance with turning on all the water to the pavilion out there and to doing an inspection of all the plumbing in and outside the building. There is still some minor repairs that they're going to continue to work on and have to complete, and they'll have that complete before the busy season gets started. He'd like to schedule a committee meeting. Mike, I'm looking at your note. You want a committee meeting soon to discuss future projects and maintenance on the boat launch. Both employees from last year are returning, and they both completed their application and physicals. We'll talk, and I'll get together with the committee. We'll pick out a date and post for a meeting then, too. Okay. That's all I have, sir.
Planning and Zoning, Trustee Dwyer.
No report?
Human Resources, Trustee Dwyer.
No report?
Are there any presentations, petitions, or communications that we have not covered under ordinary business? Trustees, are there any items you wish to remove from the consent agenda which have not already been removed? Need a motion to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you add the remaining information and call the roll?
Roll call number 1. G has been tabled until April 17th. H is now ordinance number 2017-4-1. I has been removed. It was addition, not a deletion of vehicles. J will now be resolution number 2017-4-R-1. K has been tabled until a later date. Roll call number 1. Trustee Shapiro?
Yes.
Trustee McGrail?
Yes.
Trustee Dizelle?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Michaels?
Yes.
Trustee Dwyer?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish.
Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call number 2. To approve the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Shapiro?
Yes.
Trustee McGrail?
Yes.
Trustee Dizelle?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Michaels?
Yes.
Trustee Dwyer?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve.
Any unfinished business before the board?
Oh, Mayor, I had a quick question. You mentioned a couple weeks ago about that Red Roof Inn. I haven't seen anything. What's going on with that?
About the what?
Red Roof that was interested in the deluxe hotel?
Yeah, Red Roof Inn already purchased the Red.
Yeah.
first
Are they
purchase.
going to submit any kind of like plan to us just to show what they're
better.
going to do? Yeah. Obviously, I'm asking. I haven't seen anything. Okay.
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
But I do know there were some people out there with rulers taking measurements, so I'm assuming
Okay.
they're probably getting prices.
Sounds good.
They said that they were going to put a couple $1 million into the place, so I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. I think it'd be great if they just shared, obviously, so we know what they're going to do. So, okay.
Okay. Under new business, I have a statement I'd like to read into the record. You noticed, citizens, that we have a closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, blah, blah, blah. What this is really about is that this board has decided they would like to discharge my able-bodied assistant. So I'm going to make the statement. The board does not have the authority under Illinois law, only I do. An email from our village attorney stated the following, and I fully agree. These matters are an attempt to take away the mayor's executive authority and illegally place it with the village board. Apparently, a refresher course in Civics 101 is in order. The village board is a legislative body. They enact ordinances. They do not execute or enforce them. The trustees are not mini mayors. They do not have the authority to operate individually, only as a body, and to act as a body only as authorized by law. They are not authorized to run the day-to-day operations of the village. They do not appoint, hire, or fire people. That is the job of the village president as chief executive officer of this village. I and other board members have said this is a witch hunt, harassment, and retaliation against Ms. Wojciechowski. Ms. Wojciechowski is a hard worker with superior performance record and should not be fired. No one asked me about her performance or her timekeeping, yet I am her direct supervisor. I object to the termination of Ms. Wojciechowski. Now, if you want to go to closed session on that, let's go.
Mayor, is that the email that was the reply from our village attorney dated January 19th of 2015?
I don't have the date in front of me.
The one that you sent out, sir, shows that it's a reply
It was-
to an email.
It was
Nobody's denying
2015,
that
yes. It
this attorney wrote that.
Exactly.
was not in regard to this.
Exactly.
matter.
It was about the matters that were discussed at that meeting, which was the naming of a director and alternate director for the Alsip
I don't know what
Jawa.
part of unconstitutional you don't get.
I don't
Read
know.
our form of government. That's what it says in the law.
And the form of government is changed how, sir?
Is what?
It's changed how?
It hasn't changed.
Exactly.
Exactly. It says you
But-
can't.
But you're quoting an email out of context from 2015.
I don't care. It's still relevant.
Mayor Kitching, I called your attorney firm and asked Mr. Todd Hayden and Sue Glover, and they said that was an email that was not related to this, and that the board does have the power to vote on something in this, for this matter. Your attorneys told us that.
Right, we've given an opinion on that.
I talked to Todd and Sue
No,
Glover.
right,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, that's all I have under new business. Anything else? Have a motion?
Oh, well, I thought there was a closed-door session here from, I don't know who reads this one, about the closed-door session discussing minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act, whether for purposes of approval of the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by Section 2.06 pursuant to 5 ICLS 120-2C21, requested by Clerk Van Huysen. I am calling to make a motion to go to closed-door session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, and dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C1. And that was requested by myself, Trustee Dwyer.
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call number 3 to go into closed session. Trustee Shapiro.
No.
Trustee McGreal.
Yes.
Trustee Dizelle.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Michaels.
Yes.
Trustee Dwyer.
Yes.
Motion carries to go into closed session.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will go to closed session now. There is an action item left that we'll be coming back in here to vote on. It's possible discipline discharge of an employee of the Village of Alsip. Please stick around. Trustees, 10 minutes across the hall.
We have to state that Trustee Shapiro left.
Yeah, I'll take
We're going into closed session. Let me turn this on.
Calling the meeting back to order. For the record, Trustee Shapiro left. He refused to enter into the executive session. He had major differences. Okay, trustees.
All right, well, I make a motion to terminate the employment of Catherine Rowanowski based upon the items discussed in closed-door session, effective immediately.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call number 4. Trustee Shapiro is absent. Trustee McGreal.
Yes.
Trustee Dizelle.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Michaels.
Yes.
Trustee Dwyer.
Yes.
Motion carries to terminate employment.
I would like to add that I believe that this termination by these trustees is illegal and unconstitutional, but that all will work out in the future. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?